Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony. Although Gabby's not with us, I think she's coming. I wanted to. So we just had a meeting, so I'm sure she's just running a few moments behind. But I wanted to start so everybody knew we're still having our live session today. Of course, as always, really super excited. This is Open Forum Friday, as well as Finding Your Money Voice Challenge, which I'm super excited about. I had posted a video this morning. What's up, Ben? Good to have you. And thrilled to kind of introduce that, call it the Find Your Money Voice Challenge. And, the idea behind this is for you to either it's post in the comments, either way. So either A, what style of voiceover you use, identifying what it is that gets you the most bookings, makes you the most money, or what is it that you think it would be. If you haven't found yours yet, if you haven't had a chance to really get that, that is something that we want to write down. There she is.
Hello.
She is. I told everybody that you were off saving the world, and you got back just in time.
No, I'm here. I had a power failure yesterday and totally forgot that I had to reset everything in here. So little delay.
The power thing is such and the internet. I mean, the internet's like whenever the internet goes out for a moment,
oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
it's
that's
dark
it.
ages.
Yeah.
It's
Just it's catastrophic. You can't do anything. Anyway, I'm here.
So I was telling people about the Find Your Money Voice Challenge. So basically, the challenge is to find and identify what voice style you use that gets you booked the most, that helps you make the most money.
Love it.
Or what is, if you've not got any voiceover business yet, what is it that you think would be your money voice? All right, we can start there. Something that you do well. And how you can go about doing this is this is Open Forum Friday. Post it in the chats. Let's start there. I think this is a great challenge. The reason why we're doing it now is because listen, we're coming up on the new year, coming up on 2026. This is a really good time, an opportunity to explore what voice you're going to use to really build your brand with. We some of us have one singular voice that we get really good at. Some of us are able to do a variety of voices.
It's true.
But you need at least one. You need at least one that you can sell.
Yes.
Right. So that's the Find Your Money Voice Challenge.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I think that's excellent.
Oh, good. We've already got some questions coming in. So right before we get to that, so everyone knows this is Open Forum Friday. So what we do in Open Forum Friday is you come into the chat, you put down your questions, no matter what they are for voiceover, and we answer them. All right. And that's our goal for today, to answer your voiceover questions. Make sure you heart. Yes, like we've had some incredible results over the last couple of days with people coming and watching our lives. So please keep showing that love. We really appreciate it, and it gets us out there to more people that we can help. All right, well, we've got some awesome questions coming in already. So let's go ahead. Okay, so let's see. What do we've got here? So we had, what is this? Is this a question? What seems to get me cast for audiobooks has been my pacing. Interesting. Okay. Pacing. So casting for pacing. And I would say too, this is interesting. So going further with this Money Voice Challenge, or what it is, what I found was when I found my money voice, one of the ways I started to realize it was that people were actually saying, I really like that voice style. Please use that one. That spot on your demo, this one right here, that's exactly what we're looking for. Please use that. So, James, is that like something that you get feedback on? I think that would be a cool thing to type out too for us to know. You know what I mean? Because that's how I found as people kept booking me and saying, this is what they actually would say. This is what we want from your demo. Do you ever experience that, Gabby?
All the time. all the time. I have so many demos that are on different rosters and services, and people will literally identify, this is the read, we want this sound, and I'm like, cool, you got it. Makes my life a lot easier when they do that.
Oh, absolutely. All right, here we go. Let's see. We've got Marilyn said, happy Friday. I've gotten great feedback from moi, Anthony B, and Angela. Allfest is always wonderful. That my relaxed, warm, motherly storytelling voice is easy to listen to for a long time. Blessed by Launchpad. That's awesome. So Abby mentioned Launchpad. Launchpad is a part of VO Journey Academy. And it's just one of our tiers that you're able to join and be a part of our incredible community and learn, and classes every Thursday with Launchpad. Angela leads that, and we'd love to have you. Check that out at vojourney.com. There's that. When we got that, slide that in there. Yes, so that's wonderful, right? I mean, the 5-year voice or storytelling voice. Because when you are doing audiobooks, I always say the first thing is people got to be able to listen to you for hours.
Oh, for sure.
You got to like to listen to your voice. Oh my God.
Hours. Right.
That's an important thing. And you can't, not everybody's cut out for that.
No, not everybody is. Not everybody is. But I think we can work our way up to it too.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Chris says, any advice for audio chains for auditions? Let me know. Thanks. Good question. What do you think, Gabby?
Oh man, this is a loaded one. There's so many factors. So this is where I always say it's really important to know your client and to know the end result expectation, right? If your client has a producer and that producer is going to complete the work, then no chain, no effects, no nothing. Raw audio is what they want. But if the expectation is going to be that you complete the project, then your audition should reflect what that would sound like. So in that case, use the audio chain.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was interesting because I know you are a big component too. Well, one of knowing who you are auditioning for. So why is that important? Because I mean, when I say who you're auditioning for, I mean, are these engineers? Do these people want it raw? Like, because if they just want your audio without you doing a lot to it, you know what I mean? Then that's your answer. But I know for me, I have typically, unless someone is asking for something specific, the only really thing I have pretty much one chain, and that's just which has 2 parts, or I have a raw chain. Now, when I'm doing voiceovers, if I have character work, that's the time where I have some different types of chains, you know, especially if they're looking for a character where they're like, hey, can you pitch us up some? Can you get a higher pitch voice? You know, things like that. And it's like it's a little squirrel voice or something, you know, like you're a little squirrel or something, right? You know, so there's different things you can use for that. But typically that's I either have 2. Either I use one where it's just cleanup, meaning like I'm just getting rid of there's some background noise and mouth clicks. And then there's the second part of that, there's the EQ and compression if that's needed, right? So there's kind of 2. So I can go from one because I have those separated for that purpose.
George was asking, would you say then, Gabby, that a demo with Muzak, that's so funny, is less effective in this regard than one without Muzak? No, I mean, my demos have both. I mean, you know, my most of my demos are fully produced, right? They have music, they have sound effects, they have sound design. And then
the ever elusive music. I feel like that's some sort of like special thing. What is your music?
It used to be a company. I used to work for them, actually.
Are you serious?
It's an honest to God company
name. I love it.
Yeah, Muzak Muzak was a brand name. What we think of as elevator music, what we thought
Really?
of, yes, it was a brand name. I worked for them for many years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Super funny.
Good job. Oh, we missed Melissa,
But
by the way. Melissa
oh,
had a question. All right, here we go. If you are a beginner, can you explain what you mean by your money voice or finding your
oh
voice?
geez.
Yes, I think the cool thing too is that definitely going to go into that. We if you want like a way more even in depth thing, we did like on Wednesday and yesterday. We've been talking about this, so go check those videos out as well. But the kind of short answer is your money voice is going to be that voiceover, that style, that read that you do that seems to get you booked and makes the most money for you. So that's what kind of we came up with this term money voice, right? Because it was my voice that made me the most money.
Yeah, it's that most requested, most ordered sound is a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So oh my gosh, there's so many little follow-ups here from people. Chris is asking more about what he's or about his question. Do they specify usually? Not in that way. You have to know the type of job you're auditioning for and then ask any necessary follow-up questions. So if you're auditioning for a commercial, for an ad agency, for a production company, for anything that's on a roster with a talent agency, 99.9% of the time they're going to have their own producer. Most video games are going to, most narrations. So you really just have to kind of know the most likely places to not have a finishing producer are going to be audiobooks and also corporate narration and industrial applications where they expect you to supply finished audio.
Yep. I love that. And I would go a step further and say too that take everything that Gabby said, but also if you're on platforms, there's a good chance that many of those people on platforms are going to want you just to submit a finished file because many of them probably will take your file. Again, and I think Gabby's absolutely right. You kind of have to read between because we don't get a ton of information through the platforms. Oftentimes, if you're working directly or like either through an agency or companies are emailing you, you have an idea because there's a relation, you built a relationship with them, right? Or you can ask them, right? Or they'll tell you. A lot of times they'll tell you. But when you're doing it through platforms, I just always default to a simple, very clean, easy, not over the top cleanup of my audio and I send it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't do anything. I don't do massive compression. I don't do anything massive with it because most places will ask you a lot of times to be like, even engineers will say, if you have a specific setting for like your mouth clicks or something, you can go ahead and do that, but don't touch anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Raw never really means raw.
Right.
It's such an important distinction to make.
That's
raw audio implies that I open the mic, whatever happens, I stop the recording and I send it. We never do that. We're always we're removing mistakes, we're taking breaths out, we're looking for mouth noise or clicks. We're always doing some minor post-production. But it's not anything that alters the sound delivered from the raw mic. That's all.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
All right.
Is there? Yep, that's the one I was looking at.
There
Gerard.
it says,
is there a specific pre-EQ chain of effects for the best sound before auditioning? Oh boy. These questions always drive me bonkers a little bit because it's so black and white thinking, right? It's this idea that there's a right and a wrong and that it's going to work for everybody.
Oh, that's a really good point. Do you mind if I say something about
it?
So Jared, so like I said, I'll give you kind of two sides to this. First would be like what I do is my simple pre-EQ chain, right, that I use is I use a voice to noise and a mouth declicker, right, to get rid of, I use from iZotope. And then I use just a simple general EQ that I use, which is literally just a high and a low shelf to give me some extra pop on the high end. That's it. Now
But you're
here's
talking
why.
about post, not pre, right?
Well, no, I can do that. Now, I have if you have like something like the Universal Audio Apollo Twin,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the ability to set up, like, for example, CQ1 is a plugin that's free
Mm-hmm.
from the Apollo Twin or Universal
Mm-hmm.
Audio, right? You can run that pre.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. A lot of people a while ago, I've said this before, got the DBX 286S. It was this thing. It's really meant for live. And it's not even used that much, but a lot of voice actors, because it went around, they did a really smart thing by giving people money, affiliate money. So it went around, like I bought one, we all bought one, and it was not good. I mean, it made our audio sound horrible. So typically my recommendation would be to do whatever you can, Jared, to make your space the best it could possibly be, so that your raw audio doesn't need much of anything. So that way you don't have to stress about doing any of that pre stuff. I think that's where I would bank the majority of everything that I like, most of my work, because most of our spaces now, like Gabby and ours, I mean, we don't actually really need to do anything with our audio other than just send it, because our spaces and our equipment, everything is set up in a manner in which there's not much to do to it.
It really is about having the best mic you can afford, the best interface you can afford, and the best soundproofing, and the rest just falls into place. Pre is not something I ever mess with, because anytime I ever have producers that I connect with are like, turn it off, I can hear it, I don't want it.
And you
And
can't go back. I mean, the part with pre, right, is it's done before you can't go back and change
exactly. You can't, you're kind of stuck with whatever it sounds like. But with anything with effects, I always kind of tread carefully, pre-post, whatever, because I'm like, looking for that magic pill of like, is there a specific sequence or things that it's different for everybody, every single person, because what your voice needs is not going to be the same as what mine does or what Anthony's does or anybody else's does. So it has to be assessed on a very individual basis.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. But it's a great question, Jerry, because for a great period of time, I used that DBX 286S piece of hardware that plugged into my audio box, my $99 audio box, PreSonus audio box, and it made my audio. I didn't know it.
Oh no!
But it made it sound so bad, and I could never figure out why there was a problem. And it was that, and it wasn't until I removed everything and just started focusing on just the mic, just what I said through the microphone and nothing else, that I was able to, elevate my audio.
Interestingly, I think this piggybacks on Professor Tracy's question. She said, do you use a hardware unit for compression? So I think that kind of goes along with it. And that's also an interesting question, because I mean, technically, if you have like what we do in Apollo, yes, but
No,
also
it's not a hardware.
but also no.
It's a digital one. So
it is digital, but it is a piece of hardware that without it we wouldn't be able to do. So it's not like having a harmonizer in the old days, or like a rack mounted unit that would
I think
do
that's
that.
what she means, though.
Yeah.
I think that's what she means. I think so. Like typically, so when I did a lot of live audio, right, what we would have would be a mixing board, all right, and then we would have just what Gabby said, a rack full of hardware. And what you do is you have to run, right, the microphones, whatever your inputs, through the hardware, and then the hardware through the mixing board.
Remember patch bays?
Oh yeah,
Patch bay.
I learned the first light. We had a light. We had our lighting in our theater was patched, like if anybody knows what we're talking about, they're like out of those old movies where they take them out and put them in from the. We had the same exact thing in our theater. So for running the lights, we had to be back there patching in lights.
Yes,
I'm not kidding you. And I mean, I feel like I'm not like 80 years old here, so like this was not that. I feel like not that long ago.
No, but at the same time, like, to give people a visual, when you see old movies where there's a switchboard operator literally plugging a 1/4-inch jack into a rack mounted slot, that's what we were doing, only with equipment.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I will say, it does, in a way though, it does help you understand, point A, point B,
Yeah,
point
the
C, how
chain.
it all
Yeah,
works,
the
right?
chain is super important. Yeah.
So that's where you'd have like rack mounted pieces of hardware, that are varied. And honestly, I know I see some of these cool looking people sometimes who have these, so they have all this stuff, and I do ask, because I'm like, why? Like, for us, like, unless we're doing a lot of music, you know what I mean? Like, why? Other than you're a gear junkie and y'all love it, and that's fine.
One of my favorite t-shirts of all time, like, now is understood by such a small percentage of the population. It was a patch bay and a rack, right? Visual, and it said "nice rack" on the t-shirt.
That is so you.
I used to wear it to like industry events, and like people would get it, right? It was really funny. But now, of course, people are like, huh?
That's offensive, Gabby.
No,
oh my goodness.
not.
No, I'm saying that's what a lot of younger people
it's
say.
It's a play on words. Damn it.
I think it's hilarious.
Right? I'll have to get you one. You'll enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, that's all I'd walk around with. That'd be hilarious.
Exactly.
Let's see. What did Dylan say? Dylan said join voices only get shortlisted for animation and video games. Should have joined backstage and casting call club instead. Apparently, my money voice is when I don't use my actual voice. Dylan, I know this is a little cheeky and fun. I understand, but I would say, if you don't mind, this is actually a really good, maybe a quick learning point, right? When I was, and I told this story, but I'll tell it again. When I first started, real quickly, I spoke in a way that was my voice. And that was my voice. It's how I spoke quite often.
Yeah.
But I had to change the timbre, the tone, the pitch, just the delivery, the style of it, in order to, I still view that as my voice. It's just a different voice style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will say too, Dylan, on a side note, there are some people, like, for example, I think of Morgan Freeman. I think of people like what's his name? The other guy, the cowboy guy. He's on Landman.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott. These guys, I mean, their voice. Some people just do have a unique voice and how they deliver it. That James Earl Jones is just like, these are voice styles that it is what it is. But and a lot of times in theater, we used to call, sometimes there'd be people who are like, you call them, which I think is dumb, but I'm just gonna say, leading male and leading female, and then there was character actors, and the leading male and leading female were typically the people that always got cast in the leading roles, but they got casted because they played a specific character that was like who they were in real life, almost. All right, like that. I mean, like their personality, that's how they were, whether it was a villain or not. All right. But character actors were actors that were able to do a variety of characters and transfer. That's not to say, but by the way, that's why you have people like Jim Carrey, where it's so incredible when you see these character actors doing, more of a leading male role. That's not Robin Williams. That's not just straight character craziness, like
Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Right. And Eddie Murphy. So that's why, they're incredible actors. So don't think that, it has to be that way. I probably went way too far with this, Dylan, than you probably wanted, but I don't be too down on yourself. It's a journey, right? It's a journey.
It is.
Well,
I think that does it for us. That's
this has been a wonderful week. I mean, really has been a wonderful week, and amazing. You guys have been amazing. So please, make sure you are really focusing on what is my money voice, and you start thinking in that way of what voice style am I using to audition with, and is it working? I mean, is it not working? You know what I mean? And sometimes the hard truth is it might not be working, which means that's okay. We've got to work on tweaking it, changing, doing something, we talked about competitive analysis yesterday.
Yep.
Right. Doing things that are going to help you get there. So, all right.
I agree.
Well, you all are awesome. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.